Hey guys, welcome to White River. She is a 1985 C&C 41 Custom. Custom is just different deck layout, different choice on spars, and that type of thing. So I'll give you a quick run through of the boat, show you a little bit. I'm going to do some solo sailing. It's actually November 8th on Lake Michigan, which is some pretty late sailing. So we got 75 degrees today, which is like crazy. So looking forward to it. But here she is. So White River was built, I believe, as one of the flagship boats of C&C in those early to mid 80s. She's a very heavy boat, well, heavy weather, I should say. She has an 8-foot draft on a fin keel. Rudder's about 6 foot deep. She's got quite a bit of beam, I believe 12/8 on the beam, and she loves heavy weather. So I'll kind of take you front to back. We have her set up to still run on the spin pole, so we're running symmetrical spinnakers. Got a nice size anchor locker. I'm not going to open it because I've got my jack lines on. Very nice size forward hatch so that the pit work inside and being able to work foredeck is a lot easier to throw sails down. It is set up with a baby stay. We like to put quite a bit of bend in the mast in different conditions, going upwind. We got it pretty straight right now, but when we go upwind, we'll change that quite a bit. And the boat responds really well to it. There's our massive spin pole. We also use it to pull out the jib, and we found there's times even just past beam reach we pull out. It's got the rod rigging, so that is kind of the normal thing for this vintage of C&C. The pole has the adjustment, slides up and down. It's got the quick release instead of the ring. We actually really like that. It makes it a lot easier for foredeck to do their work. Coming back, we've got self-tailing winches. We've got 8 of them. So everything is on a self-tailer, which is nice. So you don't have to worry about anybody tailing. She's got a pretty roomy cockpit for the way we sail. The wheel's big and you need it because that rudder can get very heavy. But it's got a large wheel. Does have an E-tiller. The Traveler is set just before the entrance to the companionway. It's a really good spot to be able to race the way that we race. Typically we're doing jam just because I don't have the crew yet to do spin, but this is really a pretty solid setup. It's got a double purchase. It's got a fine adjustment and a mass adjustment on the main sheet. We find that incredibly helpful because this boom and this mainsail, it gets quite a bit of pressure in it. We usually keep it set up for just one reef. We normally don't need more than that. The first reef on this boat's fairly deep and usually flattens it out. We'll then change head sails to stay out of being overpowered. We do have the bimini on there. I personally don't like it. I like to take it off whenever I'm out. Just makes it a little easier to sail. One of the things that I really love about the C&Cs, especially the bigger boats, is this little hump here at the helm. It allows you to sit at a perfect position. Another thing that's really great about the design in the back is these sloped side decks. So when you're at the helm solo, you can sit on there with your hand on the wheel like this, and it's just a whole lot easier. You've got the angle, and usually when the boat is heeling up, it puts you in the perfect position to be able to see, and then you just have someone watch the low side. So that's kind of the deck layout. In the cockpit, we also have the Navtec backstay adjuster. It also has the Vang adjustment on there. Pretty easy. Pump handle goes in here. You select, you want backstay or do you want Vang. This is your release. It's really nice because whoever's doing main can also adjust that, or you can have one of your jib trimmers, Genoa trimmers, do it as well. So pretty solid layout. We really like it. It is a fairly big boat. We usually race with 6 to 7 is what we kind of like on the Great Lakes. We don't have a ton of big air. When we do, I'll grab a couple more people, but the cockpit is very comfortable. You can have 4 people in here working, 1 at the helm, 2 on jib and 1 on main pretty easily, and then the rest up on the rail. Works pretty well. Everything is run aft, so we've got all of our rope clutches here. They're just your basic rope clutches, but laid out very well, so someone can sit in this companionway and control all our lines, adjusting front, the reefs, the backstays, the downhauls, the outhauls, all that stuff can be controlled right here from the cockpit. So when you fly spin, it keeps one person out of the pit when you have to make all these little adjustments. for that fine-tuned stuff. So I kind of like it. So I'll take you down below and turn that radio off, and I'll show you what she looks like down below. Very well outfitted and appointed down below. I'll start with the galley. So we've got a large ice box, very deep. It's got the old school hand pump, which is right here. That's how you pump out the water after the ice melts. That's going to be being replaced with a switch right here, so I can just turn it on and pump it out. I got a little motor for it. It does also have the ice box here, so you can turn on the little rheostat there and take care of your cold stuff when you're at the dock. Engine access is back here. It's got a Yanmar. Yanmar is a really solid engine. We like it a lot. Doesn't have the glow plugs. Sometimes a little harder to start when it gets cold, but not too bad. We've got a decent amount of storage space. We're at the end of the season, so it's pretty clean right now. Got a gimbaled stove, and then we've got dry storage for food here. Got our drawers. It's got a pressure system on board, so you got a foot pump for lake water, and then you got a foot pump for the tank water, and then you also have the pressure that you can just turn these on when the pressure system's on, and it'll run it from the tank. We got the pilot berths, which I really like. My kids love it because they love to sleep up there, but it's also really nice for throwing a little bit of weight on the high side with the sails if you need to get things out of the way. But it also, when you're racing and you fill all this area up here with sails, it gives your folks a place to sleep. The table is a pretty nice table. Both of these leaves fold out. I've sat down here with 8 people for dinner. It works really, really well. Nice midship hatch. Works well. There is good storage behind and under these. So we store usually just life vests on that side and other just random stuff over there. The head. This boat has been equipped with a power head. The shower pump still does work, but we removed the shower head here. But nice roomy toilet, so it's nice to be in here when you need to be. It's big enough, you don't feel cramped or crowded in here. So V-berth has the removable piece at the front to make it easier to work when you're racing. It is pretty roomy when that's in there, comfortable. I'm 6'1½", and I can sleep in here very easily, though this is not my favorite place. I typically take the aft berth. I got some storage on the sides, pretty nice storage. A lot of teak in the boats. C&C really like to put teak in it. Really like that design. It makes it look very classic. We got outlets up here. All right, we do have a wet locker. This usually has a zip up that is out right now because I'm rebuilding it. I got to sew a new one, so I got the zippers and the material to do it. But that's our wet storage. Then you come to the back, and we've got our nav station. Very roomy nav station. It's nice. You can hook up a laptop. It's got pretty good storage underneath. We've got quite a few drawers over here. There's storage underneath here. This is easily removable, so if you're sleeping, you want to remove this so you've got a longer spot. If you're storing some stuff in the back, you can totally do that. It's got the typical C&C electrical panels. We got the old Hercules 2 system, which really doesn't work except for the depth. That's coming out soon. We're going to redo some instruments. It's got a standard horizon chart plotter, and then we got a DC connection here. So pretty nice layout there. Then we also have our start battery. Our engine service battery is separated from our main cabin battery. So we got 2 batteries for the main cabin, 1 for engine service only. Once you start the engine, you get out there, you put the sails up, shut the engine off, you come in down and turn this to off. And when you do that, it's then going to disconnect the battery for the engine from the house battery, and you can run these 2 completely dead, still start your motor. So pretty nice setup. Oh, that little thing right there on a hot night is a lifesaver. So a little bit more storage up here. These little cubbies, they like to put little spots all over the place, which is nice. It does have pressure propane system, works really well. We cook all the time on here, and it does very, very well. One of the things on the C&Cs is the windows. You always have to watch and make sure you're not getting the leaking in the corners. These have been replaced within the last couple of years on both sides. And that's about it. Nice deep bilge. Bilge is right under here. Holds quite a bit of water. Not that you want it to, but if it needs to, it'll hold it before it comes above the floorboards. So that is the C&C 41. We really like her. She's a great boat. Again, loves heavy weather. If we're in a race where it's blowing, 20 to 25, we're going to be at the top of the board at the end. She loves waves. She'll pound through them. She just slams through them. And we've been learning how to get her going fast in light air. You have to do a lot of tweaking and adjustment. It does have running backs. So these running backstays, we tweak with those quite a bit to get the proper shape of the main and everything that we want to when we are in light air. She works really well with a blade staysail. So if you have a staysail and you run it like a cutter on a beam reach, it really adds quite a bit. In 10 knots of air, we've gotten as much as a half a knot more speed by running that staysail. So usually you think we're only running the staysail on a spinnaker day, but it actually works pretty well. We run about a 150 on the number 1 jib, and then it goes down from there. Our best jib on the boat is a number 3 in full main in 18 to 20 knots of wind, and she just is she's a rocket ship. So anyways, if you guys have any about the boat, feel free to post them in any of the comments, and I'll get back to you and answer anything I know about it. If you know any other information about the boat and you want to share it, feel free. But this is her. She's a great boat. I'll try and get a little bit of footage of some of the others and post it so you guys can see them. But C&C 41, White River. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. She's a fine boat.